This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Hoffman. Today is Halloween, October the 31st, 2022. October has slipped away, and, well, we're so glad you could join us today. Coming up, we were in the John Deere training facility on Thursday and Friday, as John Deere made some announcements today about some new equipment. We'll talk to Steve Spoehr. He is their head of tillage equipment there at John Deere, about what new piece of equipment came out and what's being talked about today. We'll also have a look at your ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down those markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Well, we're at the end of another trading day, and we're talking with Robin Schmall of agmarket.net. Robin, what did we see in that grain trade today?
Well, initially we saw, overnight we saw a lot of strength because Russia suspending its participation in the Black Sea Grain Initiative that would allow for safe passage of grain coming out of Ukraine through the Black Sea. And that was because there were some drone attacks on their ships. And so that really got the market all excited. Now, the market did fade during the day and actually looked like we went negative on soybeans for a while, but then came back later in the day again, obviously not regaining everything that it had done initially when the market opened up, but did kind of come back again. So there was a little bit of back and forth that was going on. Now, wheat was the leader all day long, did do the same kind of a pattern, but did close about 50 some cents higher. And corn was supported because of wheat as well. Plus also, that moves out of the Ukraine to some degree also. And so that was the big news that really supported that whole market. Now, we did have the export inspections out today. Corn was 16.6 million bushels. It was actually down 2 million bushels from last week. So nothing real strong there. Soybeans, 94.6 million bushels. That was down actually 12.7 million bushels from last week, but last week we had a phenomenal week as far as soybean export inspections were concerned. Wheat was 5 million bushels, was up 100,000 bushels from last week. So again, that provided a little bit of support to the market, but nothing that really would trump what was going on in the news of the Black Sea. Now, Turkey and the UN are still working diligently on trying to get this thing continued and trying to work with Russia. But, that's going to be on and again, off again, probably, and create a lot of volatility in the market. Now, the rest or the harvest that we're looking at, estimates today in harvest are at 75% complete for corn. That's up from last week's 61%. Soybeans, the trade is estimating 89% harvested, up 9% from last week. Now, winter wheat plantings at 88%, up 9%, also from last week. And this week is the first crop conditions rating for winter wheat. They're looking at 41% good to excellent. Now, those estimates were all over the board because of the drought situation, some of the plantings going on. And it's the first rating, so it could go anywhere, but the average is looking at about 41%. China is going to auction off 500,000 tons of their internal soybeans from the state reserves. That's going to take place on November 11th. They're trying to curtail some of the rising soybean prices in the country. So they're making a sale from their internal state revenues or reserves, I should say, not revenues. And we're still dealing with the movement of soybeans, corn, grain down the Mississippi River. There's some compensation being made. Actually, we are still able to move quite a bit of it, but that is causing some concern. There's some elevators now along some of the rivers that are not taking grain anymore. They're full. They've informed their farmers that they're not going to take grain anymore because they can't get it moved out as they want to move it out. So that's creating an issue back there on the farm level as far as if they don't have storage, which a lot of them that are close to the river apparently don't have much storage. So they move it to the river storage right away. So that's creating an issue, dropping basis in those areas, going to those elevators, but basis in other areas, especially on the demand side, is increasing quite rapidly. So we are seeing, I think we're seeing stability that's happening now as we've gone through some of this news today, and we'll just see how we transpire on the overnight trade.
All right, moving over to the livestock side, what do we see in those cattle and hog markets?
Well, first of all, we didn't get any news from the USDA about cutouts, box beef, cash prices, because they had some issues with their reporting system and computer like we all have. But they had it today, so we didn't get anything out of there. Now, the livestock were lower in most cases for the cattle market, and that was because of the higher grain price. But the bigger influence, I think, on live cattle is whether we will be able to maintain this recent pace we've had for higher cash. And we've had some phenomenal movement up in cash. Last week, we saw $2 to $5 higher movement, good slaughter pace, tighter market. Now, whether we can repeat that again this week, we've got mixed show lists, higher in Nebraska and Colorado, lower in Kansas. Whether the packers will want to remain that aggressive or whether they will start slowing down some of that slaughter pace. But nevertheless, we're seeing a strong consumer demand, which is a little bit surprising given the prices that consumers are paying for not only groceries, but a lot of other things. Hogs, there we saw some spread trading, putting pressure on the nearby months. The interesting thing coming back to, well, first of all, talking about the hog market, that's making some consolidation, but the Commitment of Traders report showed funds last week increasing their net long positions in hogs by 19,529 contracts. That's very rarely seen. And stepping back to the cattle market, the Commitment of Traders last week had the live cattle increasing along 27,526 contracts. Again, something that we very rarely seen. So I think that it indicates funds are wanting to get in and support this market, and that might leave any kind of a retracement very minimal.
All right. Well, great information as always. Robin, if folks want to make marketing strategy plans with agmarket.net, how do they go about doing that?
Well, they can call me directly if they'd like at 877-256-3253. They can go to our website, agmarket.net. The main phone number is on there, and you call that phone number, and any one of the brokers will pick up.
All right. Well, Robin, thanks for the insight as always. We'll talk to you again real soon.
All right. Thank you. And it's always a pleasure being on the show.
That again was Robin Schmall of agmarket.net. Let's run down those closing numbers courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart.
At the close, December corn was up 10 3/4 at 691.5. March up a dime at 696 3/4. November beans up 19 1/4 at 1407 even. January up 19 1/4 at 1419.5. Soy meal was up $2.90 at $419.10 per ton. Soy oil up $1.40 at $70.61. December Chicago wheat up 53 cents at $8.82 1/4. Minneapolis up 36 1/4 at $9.81 1/4. Kansas wheat up 53 3/4 at $9.78 3/4. Oats for March was up 20 3/4 at $3.98 even. December live cattle down 52 cents at $152.47. November feeders down 25 cents at $177.62. Lean hogs down $1.17 at $84.92. Pork cutouts down $1.07 at $95.05. Class 3 milk for October down 2 cents at $21.81.
And that's been our Ag Market Recap. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I will talk with the folks at John Deere. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome into Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Well, last weekend I got the chance to go over to Davenport to the John Deere training facility there and talk to them about some new equipment that was released to the public today that will be available by fall of 2023 or model year 2024. One of those is, well, John Deere re-entering the strip till game. I talked with Steve Spoehr, who is the head of tillage there at John Deere, as to why John Deere got back into the game and what they're bringing to the table. Tell us what we're looking at right now.
So what we're looking at here is our brand new ST series of strip till bars from John Deere. So this is an ST16 drawn. It's a 16 row 30-inch model, two 5-ton integrated fertilizer tanks. We're looking at the row unit configuration is with coulters, and so we have two tillage coulters behind the lead coulter to perform that tillage on this particular row unit.
All right, so you also have a shank model as well, correct?
Yeah, yep.
So tell us a little about where that would be positioned in this situation.
So the neat part about the row unit is that we have the opportunity to quickly interchange between the coulters and the shanks. And so 4 bolts here could allow us to put the shank in, and it would go right in place to where the coulters are and enable anhydrous ammonia application in addition to dry fertilizer.
All right, and so it's also all connected into the John Deere system, so when you're doing this in the fall, you come back in the springtime with the planter, it's going to make a big difference.
One of the key things with strip till is repeatable precision in terms of where I'm putting my strip and where I'm planting my seed. And so as you look at the total solution, when you pair it up with the John Deere tractor and the John Deere strip till bar, we're leveraging AutoPath and active implement guidance with the integrated steerable hitch to be able to have that job executed precisely and consistently every time for the best possible outcome as it relates to getting the seed in that nutrient-rich, well-prepared seed bed.
Now, strip till is obviously something that's not new in agriculture, but what makes this equipment different and what's going to make it better?
Yeah, so as you look at how the strip till market has evolved over time, still it's a small portion of the acres that are done with strip till, but we feel that as the technology has advanced, and as I mentioned, the technology solutions to execute it precisely and reliably every time, we feel that there's opportunity for that to continue to grow. And as I mentioned, the coulter style row unit is something that's newer to the market that enables us to have higher levels of productivity, operating up to 10 miles an hour, as well as additional versatility. So today here, we got some rain in the last couple days. It's a little bit wet out here, and we're able to make really good strips without harming the soil or the seed bed, and be able to have really great strips to plant into next spring. You can see that it's loosened up, the soil's loosened up. We talked about the moisture here a little bit, right? This is probably a little bit wetter than what a grower would normally operate, but we wanted to highlight the versatility of the tool out here. And as you look at how the shape of the tillage that's completed with the coulter, it's got a U-shaped tillage area. So we're taking that material, digging it up, throwing it in the air, busting up the clods, and throwing it back down. And so our fertility is mixed in throughout the whole strip as we use the coulter style. If we look at the shank style unit, you're going to have more of a V style tillage pattern, and you'll have a little bit higher concentration of fertilizer at the lower end of that V.
All right, and so what's your target demographic for what kind of farmers are going to be using these?
Yeah, so primarily corn and soy growers in the Midwest, but there's a wide range of applications for strip till, and really any growers that are interested in it. And additionally, we have 20 and 22 inch row spacing models to help support the sugar beet areas as well.
All right, and of course people are going to want to know, when is it going to be available?
So ordering will be available in February with machines ready to go to the field for the fall of 2023.
That again was Steve Spoehr. He is tillage product manager with John Deere here on AMPM. Let's run down that ag weather outlook. Well, it's been pretty much a cookie cutter forecast, pretty ho-hum for the last couple days, and it looks like it's going to continue for a couple days more. Now, we are a little bit warmer, But again, still pretty well clear skies and smooth sailing for at least the first part of this week. Let's see what the National Weather Service has in store for these next 24 hours.
And as we said just a few seconds ago, it is a pretty vanilla forecast out there today. Again, sunny and fair today across the state and continued warmer. We'll see highs in the mid to upper 60s. Tonight, clear skies and lows will be in the upper 30s to the low 40s. And then tomorrow, the sunny and unseasonably warm conditions continue. We'll see highs anywhere from the upper 60s to the mid 70s. Looking at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee will be sunny and 73, Shenandoah sunny and 75, Des Moines sunny 74, Albia will be sunny and 72, Waterloo sunny 71, and Clinton sunny skies and 69 degrees.
For more detailed forecasts in your area, tune to your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been our Ag Weather Outlook. And with that, we're at the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and on our YouTube channel. And while you're there, subscribe and click the bell icon so you're notified every time we put out a new episode of Ag Matters PM. You can also check out our free twice daily market podcast on Google, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Mark Magnuson and Riley Smith, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.